Hello, I'm Dr. Garrett Christensen. Today I'm going to help you to help your lower back. First thing we got to do, get on the ground, lay down, grab hold of one knee. Pull that knee up into your chest. You can pull straight up. You can pull out to the side towards that same side shoulder, or you can pull across the center line. Take deep breaths. Let it release in that hip, in the glute, and you might feel it even up into that lower back. Then the other side. Grab hold of that knee, pull it to the same side shoulder. Hold on to the knee with the same side hand and hold on to the shin or ankle with the other hand. Stabilizing that knee. When you bring it across your center line, you can play with how much torque you have pulling that leg over with that lower hand, pulling on that ankle. Another option is to, same concept of pulling your knee to your chest, is bringing one knee up, one leg straight back behind you and leaning down over that leg. Okay, opposite leg here, showing you here. Laying down over that leg. Now I can let that knee come out to the side. I can bring that knee straight to my center line, or I can bring it across, letting that hip fall down to the ground, rolling on that. So showing you from the front here, front angle. Coming up, bringing that knee straight. My hip is up off the ground, my legs back behind me. And then we can drop our body down to the side of that knee, elbow inside or just out in front. We can take our body right over the center of that knee, or we can take that hip and drop her down to the ground, letting this foot come out to the side there, dropping that chest right over that center line. So we can play with this, doing a little wiggle of that hip. We can go forward and backwards. Or we can just breathe and relax down into it. Other side, knee up, dropping that hip down, dropping this hip down, allowing this knee to come forward. We can rock back and forth, side to side, loosening up that hip. We can bring this foot out in front of us a little more. Grab hold of that foot, bring it out in front, drop your body up and over that leg. We can play with having our center line over more towards the ankle, or we can bring it more towards the knee or somewhere in between. That's money. That's a wonderful stretch. That feels good. Should feel good. Should not feel any pinching in your knee. You might feel some tension. Shouldn't hurt. Shouldn't be stabbing. Should feel good. Should be able to roll around on that knee. If you can't, and there's pain, don't do it. Okay, next we have the spinal twist. You can do this a lot of different ways. We can cross the leg over and then reach across with the opposite arm and twist our body away. So, sitting, bring one foot in, take the other, bring it across that knee, reach across, bring the other hand behind you, sit tall, turn and twist. Breathe, take deep breaths. As you exhale, allowing your spine to twist just a little more. We're not straining, we're just allowing the body to move with the breath. Another way of doing this is just laying down on the ground. Laying flat, taking one leg up and over and twisting it. Allowing the opposite hand to stay back. So here, hands back, twist it over. Start low, where my foot is not going up towards my waist height. It's staying down below. Here's my waist height. And you can do that, rock back and forth a few times, and then we can go a little bit higher with it. A little bit higher. Now here's a cool part that a lot of people miss in doing this. If you jackknife, so notice how this bottom leg is straight as I roll over, we can bring that leg up. And that bends the lower back a little bit, and then we can bring this leg up even higher. And we can jackknife a little more. So showing you from the other side. Jackknife, bring it up and over. Over here, Step. 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 Another way of doing this is laying on your belly, hands down, elbows down, and just roll that leg back and over. So you're twisting at the lower back. Now we can combine our shoulders, get a little shoulder stretch in with this by dipping that shoulder as we roll over. Start small and then work yourself up. Go a little bit further. How far can we reach that foot over? Looks kind of crazy from that angle. I'm going to show you from the side here. Here. Rolling over. Another version of this stretch is the dragon tail. Coming up into a forward bent position and straighten one leg or put all your pressure on one leg, lift the opposite leg, bring it back and across. So, lifting up, back and across, opening up that hip. You can determine how far up and around you want to go. You can start small, bringing that leg up and across. Kicking up as far as you can, bringing it across. You can lift that one hand back. This is advanced. Notice that lower back and those hips are rotating. Come all the way through. You can start small and just lift that leg and twist it and bring it right back. Lift it, twist it, bring it right back. Or you can bring it all the way around, lifting that opposite hand and rolling your body through. The next thing we can do is just the old-fashioned squat. Now notice here, I'm up on my toes, my heels are up off the floor. We're going to put our hands down in front of us. We're going to slowly just drop one heel, keeping that other heel up, and we're going to go the other side. And as we do that, feel your hips, where they're at. You might feel some pinching in the front of your hips. If you do, go to the upward dog or the cobra. Come in here. Work out the front of those hips, loosen those up first, and then work yourself back down into this squat position. So you can put your hands down, or you can pick them up and work with your balance a little bit, but just rock back and forth, easing into it, being gentle with your body, and then work yourself down to where you can get both heels down. Your elbows are in front of your knees, using those elbows to push those knees back even further. And then as you feel comfortable, you may have to do this with shoes on at first, or have something underneath your heels to give you that little bit of support so that you can do this next step, and that is sitting up into a straight back or as straight as you can, lifting that head up and just chilling in this squat position for a good 30 seconds to a couple minutes, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you have to put your hands out in front of you to balance, that's okay. Give you a counterbalance there. Settle into those hips. Next up, we have back rolls. Sit on your butt, feet out in front of you, grab your wrists, lock your hands, hold your knees, whatever feels good to you, and just roll back on your spine. I recommend doing this on a cushioned surface at first, and rock back as far as you feel comfortable, working yourself up just a little higher each time. Being mindful of your neck, and then play with rocking slightly to one side and then slightly to the other. So reach through, grab onto the outsides of your feet, roll back, controlling your roll by how much you pull on your feet. If your feet can touch the ground right by your head, great. If not, no big deal. You can have your legs in more of a flared out position. Now, or we can bring it into the full happy baby. Grab on, hold, keep it there, and then gently put pressure on one side with your elbow, and then to the other. So you're rocking back and forth as you come down each one vertebra at a time. Controlled, you may find that you just fall right out of the roll as you come down. And we roll all the way down to the lower back. Think each vertebra one at a time, back and forth. You can switch your grip on your feet where you're grabbing just on the inside and you're pulling your knees down past your ribs. You can stay in the center and just pull those knees and breathe, or you can do gentle rocking where one is straightening out a little bit while you're bending the other maximally. Or you can keep them both bent and just rock side to side or rock up and down. Play with it. Be gentle to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Start on your elbows and lift your belly button away from your pubic bone. Then, if that feels good, and you can do more, plant your hands down and rock yourself on up. Trying to keep the pubic bone down or the upper thighs down. It's okay if the pubic bone comes off the ground a little bit, but don't come up to where you can see, to where you're just on your knees. Okay, you want to let your thighs drop, let your pelvis drop. You can change the position of your wrists there, wherever's comfortable for you. If your wrists are bothering you, go onto your knuckles. If that bothers you, drop back down to your elbows and just lift there. Now from here, post up. Put one hand down, keep the other elbow down, and push, straighten yourself out and roll your body just a little bit, opening up that pelvis on that one side. Then post up the other side. Look up even. Deep breath, lifting that rib cage up and away from that pelvis. Then we can do that with both arms and then just rotate. Dip one shoulder, push up and away with the other. Feel that pulling in that lower abdomen. Using the breath to get the stretch. You can activate the glute on the side that you feel the stretch to intensify that stretch a little bit more. Now, when I say activate, I'm not saying squeeze with all your might. Think of your spine like a snake slinking away from the head, away from your heels. So you're lengthening your spine as you're coming back into extension. Then right along with this, we want to pull up onto our knees. We want to drop our butt back down between our feet and reach forward, sinking that chest down. So straight on view, my knees are apart to allow my abdomen to drop down in between them, and then we're dropping that head down. So from the back here, dropping my butt between my feet. You can play with where your feet are. You can have them pointed in a little bit more, you can have them straight, but we don't want them here like this, okay? That's no go. We want them straight or a little curled in, and then we're gonna reach forward from the front here, reaching to the side, reaching to the other side. Okay. The next stretch is the hurdler stretch. Now there's a couple different ways of doing this. One is having the foot out or in just a bent position and then reaching for that leg out in front of you. Okay, so from the front here, having this foot knee bent, and you're just sitting down and reaching for that. Now, even better, so showing you the other side. Even better, put the insole, the bottom of the foot, into the groin or the inner thigh, and then try to get that leg to set down to the ground, keeping both of your sit bones, your butt bones, down on the floor, and reach forward for that foot. If you can't grab that toe, that's fine. Grab your shin or your knee, whatever you can do. Then from here, we're trying to elongate or lift our spine up and away, and we're going to rotate. We're going to reach from the same side. So my right leg's forward, my right hand is going to reach to the inner thigh. I can use my elbow or my wrist or my hand near the calf or my elbow near the knee. And then we're going to take that other hand and we're going to twist, rotate our body sideways so we're parallel, in line with that straight leg. And then we're going to reach up and over. I'm going to look straight as I do this, relaxing my neck. Breathing. That leg here is going to want to pop up on you. That's okay if it comes up a little bit. Try to just relax it down. Breathe and feel that stretch along that side, that hip, that lower back, that QL muscle, the quadratus lumborum, the hip hiker muscle, the muscle that brings the hip up into the ribs or bends the ribs down into the hip. And breathe. Now from here, you can see me. We can be straight on. See my shoulders in line with my head, with my torso, with my other shoulder, and I'm leaning forward towards that toe. Eventually, if I hang here long enough, warm up enough, I'm going to be able to reach that toe. That's the goal. Then we're going to be able to rotate just a little bit back and a little bit more and a little bit more until we are back, shoulders aligned forward with that leg. So other side. I'm going to show you what that looks like from the side view right here. So reaching for that foot, that shin, that knee, whatever we can grab. Then we're going to get tall with the back. We're going to lengthen our spine, and I'm going to reach in here, either holding on with my hand into my calf or my elbow into my knee here, and I'm going to use that to torque or twist my upper body as I reach up and over and work with the breath. Notice what I'm doing here. As I breathe, I'm not reaching. My breath is doing the work. I'm just relaxing, holding this position, using that breath, and I'm going a little bit more each breath I take. And it should feel good. If something's burning too much, you got too intense of a stretch, don't do it. Now, a minute and a half is a good amount of time, or 10 really good deep breaths. Now, I lost count of how many breaths I just did. I don't care. I care about how I feel and what I'm experiencing. I don't care about numbers. I'm trying to reach my goal here. I also like to think about colors. Red being painful, orange being intense, yellow feeling a stretch, white, no stretch at all. Like to stay in the yellow and orange region. This routine would not be complete without the old-fashioned forward fold. So, back flat, bend forward, legs straight, wiggle the butt, whatever you want to do here. Listen to your body, okay? Deep breaths, allow yourself to drop down. So we're trying to minimize the space between our diaphragm and our thighs. I'm looking up. You can also approach this another angle. We can roll from the neck, upper body, down, one vertebra at a time. Rolling down until we touch our toes here. Now I've seen many different options here. We can also start the opposite way. Bend the knees, reach back behind you, grab the back of your thighs, drop your chest as far as you can to your knees, and then straighten your legs. You can reach back behind you, hook your elbows, grab your elbows. Bringing that chin as far as you can into those knees. and straightening those legs. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten. Now as you straighten, you can also lift up with your lower back, so you're rounding your lower back in that position. All right, next, we're going to go into a triangle or wide leg position. We're going to bend forward towards the ground here. We can just relax our head down, let our body bend forward, let our hands drop down. We can grab our elbows. We can do a gentle side to side rocking motion. And we can work ourselves over to where our elbows touch our knees one at a time. You can bend your legs slightly or keep them straight. You can reach through the triangle, gentle bouncing motion, dynamic stretching. We can reach over across, grabbing onto our shin and or the back of that ankle, grabbing onto that calf and trying to take your chest across to your knee. So reaching across, hold, deep breaths. You can bend that knee slightly and or straighten it out. Show you what that looks like from the side here. So bending down, linking those elbows, rocking side to side, reaching over and across, grabbing that ankle. You got a little bony prominence there to hook onto, or you can grab on all the way around that calf. And then we're going to bring that, I like to bring the other hand back behind the knee and use that as support. And I'm hugging my leg, pulling my upper body into it, twisting, getting that torso to twist and then roll into it. If all you got is grabbing here, great. Grab here, rotate. Then try to bring that body down. Use that breath to get yourself into it. Another awesome stretch here is getting into a wide leg position, reaching across, bringing that same side leg. So my left leg here, my left arm's coming underneath, and then my right arm's coming across. And I'm grabbing my shin, and I'm grabbing my forearm. Okay, so I'm arm barring my leg through here. Arm barring my own leg, and from there, I got my forearm behind my knee, and my other hand is up, just grabbing onto my shin, and then I'm lifting my lower back, and I'm straightening that leg, lifting the lower back. Okay, so from the side view here, bending forward, reaching through that same side. I got my right leg, my right arm, I'm reaching under my knee here, and then coming across, I'm grabbing onto that shin, and then I'm hooking on, and I'm grabbing my arm. And we're locking that knee out, and I'm lifting my back up and away. You might feel one side pull more than the other. Reaching under, grabbing on, pulling up and away. You should feel that right there. All right, the next stretch is the good old-fashioned cat-cow or cat-camel, arching your back and rounding your back. So getting on all fours, we're going to round the back, lifting my belly button towards the ceiling, letting my head relax down, breathing deep breath, and then arching the back, lifting the tailbone up, coming up on the toes, looking up, and breathe. Now, some people like to work with their breath back and forth, breathing out as they go up and breathing in as they drop down. I like to do a combination of the two. We can do breath work with the motion, or you can hold each position and breathe and go a little bit further. Sometimes you don't think you can go much further until you take a really deep breath And then you relax into it a little bit more. Now you can do this standing as well. So we can stand here and we can round forward and lift back. So we're rounding forward, bringing our body back as far as you can, and then arching our back as far as we can, bending the knees. Squeezing the back. Rounding and here. Okay, next stretch is called the figure four. Take your foot, put it up on your knee. Play with whether your foot is directly in line with your thigh or if it's hanging off a little bit. I like to put it in line with the thigh and then sit tall, sit towards the edge of the chair, and with a flat back, lean forward over that leg. Working with your breath, relaxing forward. Think bringing your belly button forward towards the floor, not necessarily dropping your upper body or your head down. You can rest your hands on your thigh or on your shin or your knee. You can put a little pressure down on your knee to get that leg to fall flat towards the floor. Or you can focus on pulling yourself forward into that stretch. So from the side, showing here, taking that foot, put it up on that knee. If it's hard to get that foot up onto that knee, drop that leg down, straighten that leg out. Pull onto your pant leg, whatever you got to do. Get that up there and then straighten that out. If that's all you got and you just want to hang out here and you got a good deep stretch in your hip, that's fine. If you can, work yourself up. Get that foot underneath your leg. Sit tall. Breathe. Lean forward over that leg. Oh. This is one of my favorite stretches. If I had to give you just one stretch for your lower back, for your hips, this would be it right here, the figure four. Right along in conjunction with that stretch, we can cross that leg over, reach across with the opposite hand, reach back behind us on the back of the chair. You can hook it with your elbow or keep it with your hand and your forearm, whatever feels comfortable for you. And we can twist and rotate. A couple things to keep in mind here. We can lengthen our spine so we are straight as possible as we twist, or we can allow our body to roll into it. Crossing over, sitting tall, reaching across here, and twisting. Now, I can also roll that back or round that back and twist into it. So straight up, twist, or round and twist, or anywhere in between. Play around with that. Again, here, other side. Breathing. Using the back of that chair to help me twist just a little more. I'm not torquing or pushing hard. I'm holding pressure. Breathing and allowing the breath to get me to rotate just that little bit more. One of my favorites is getting down into a bow and arrow stance, right? So one leg bent, the back leg straight. My back foot's at about a 45-degree angle. My front foot is straight, slightly turned in. And from here, we're going to take the side of the leg that's bent. I'm going to bring that arm back behind me like I'm pulling a sword out from my back here. And then the other hand is coming back behind me from underneath, grabbing that sword from underneath. So it's a dual sword motion here, right? So coming up here and then rotating towards that upper hand and breathing, allowing the hips and the spine and the neck and the back and everything to rotate that way. And then coming the opposite way. Twisting and rotating those feet and hips, allowing that back heel to come up off the ground, looking and rotating. You can play with how high you are as you do this or how low you go. You can drop the knee down and go into that all the way, or you can stay up. So again, here, you can do it slow and work with the breath. Taking a deep breath in, exhaling. Deep breath, exhaling. Or get into position Breathe a couple good deep breaths. And play with all the ranges of motion. How far you are rotating, how far you are extending, how far you're rotating your neck, how far you're letting your shoulders to roll with it. There's a lot going on there, but it's a wonderful stretch. This last stretch is only if your back is able to do this. If you're experiencing pain, don't do this one. This is the good old-fashioned back bend. Multiple ways of doing this. Coming on our knees, and then putting your hands on your hips and just arching back as far as you can comfortably. Take a deep breath, allowing the hips to sag forward. You can bring your heels together if you like. Looking up, allowing your neck to relax back. Try not to lean back, keeping your legs straight up and down as you bend at the waist. Backwards. Oh, okay. Now, you may want to take a break and just go into a forward fold position and then work yourself back into it more. If your back feels good, you can reach back one hand at a time and grab onto your heels. Now again, from here, we're not leaning back here. We're trying to bring those legs forward, hips forward, and the upper body back. And work with your breath. Okay, to come out of that, you can bring your body back and sit right back down. Now, if you feel up to it and you are advanced enough, we're going to go into the full back bend. And from here, there are ways to work up to this. If your neck feels good, go ahead and attempt this. Okay, if you feel good, go ahead and come right up into this move here. You're going to bring those hands right back behind you, curling them up behind you as far as you can. Push up onto the crown of the head. Gently putting pressure on there. If you have no pain, keep going. Bring those hands as far back as you can into a comfortable position and press. And breathe. Now I'm up on my toes. Drop your heels down. To come down out of this, roll down onto the back of the head and shoulders and lower that lower body down. You can repeat any of the stretches that we showed you before at any time during any of this exercise. Hey, you. I just want to tell you, you're awesome. Awesome. That's right. Don't you forget it. Okay? All right? You got it? Okay, I'm looking at you.